Well, hello everyone, and thank you for joining me. I'm Jill Bloom, Group Publisher of Walls and Ceilings, and welcome to If Walls Could Talk. I'm so excited to be here with my good friend Don Allen, who is the Executive Director of SFIA. Don, it's great to see you. Thanks for joining me.
It's great to see you as well, Jill. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Well, there's a lot going on at SFIA, so let's just start right there. I mean, it's all about steel.
It is all about steel, and we've had a good year. We've had good participation from our members. We've got a lot of irons in the fire and a lot of things coming up. I had a discussion yesterday with some folks about our industry-wide Environmental Product Declaration, our EPD.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of folks signed up for that. Did some outreach to SSMA as well.
Nice.
So I'm excited about getting their participation.
I love it. Well, I know you guys always have some great things going on. Let's start off by talking about your strategic plan and how you're partnering with those other associations, because there's some good things going on there.
Yes. So not only are we partnering with associations that have to do with steel, like SSMA, like AISI, like the Metal Building Manufacturers Association, those people kind of live in our ecosystem of steel.
Yeah.
But we're reaching outside to that. Even people that make what some people would think are competing materials like concrete, because they're non-combustible. And so when you're competing against wood, it's great to have partners in that non-combustible construction arena when you're going to legislators and trying to get them to pass laws that prevent things like those wildfires that burned all those homes out in California and Hawaii.
Yeah.
And we're even have some information about cold form steel on the Woodworks webpage about how wonderful load-bearing cold form steel is at holding up floor slabs made of cross-laminated timber. So being able to partner with these other associations gives us some leverage and some background in some of the things that they've been having problems with. Most of our members are small businesses, and most of the members of these other associations are small businesses as well, and we're trying to get rid of some of the legislative hurdles that those folks have to jump through, and the current administration is helping us do that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So
very
good.
cool.
Yeah.
That's nice to see you partnering with all these associations. That, you know
what,
why not all work together?
Right, and we're right in the same offices with AWCI.
Nice.
We're right there with EMA, with Steve Sears, and they're doing some legislative outreach themselves.
They are. They've got a fly-in
That's
happening in a few weeks here.
Yeah, that's right.
Great.
Next week. So it's exciting. Yeah.
Very nice. I love it. Well, the other thing I wanted to dive in with you is a little bit on code compliance, because there's some demands there, and just what does everybody need to know?
So first of all, the codes have been relatively similar for a long time. The codes for steel, however, the way they defined things was not very clear. Like, for example, on non-structural, which is what most of the people here put in and get started in the business, it said G40 or equivalent corrosion protection. Does that mean paint? Does that mean galvanized? Can you use magnesium or some of these other coatings, aluminum on the outside of it? And so what we have done is we've worked to help define that and get that into the codes, get those into the ASTM standards, and there's a ballot going into that right now. We've also worked with other associations to make sure that what we develop in the codes works well with them. So, for example, the Gypsum Association have certain fastening requirements. We had some issues with screw spin out, and so we've done some testing over the years on how we can make sure that works out well. We've reached out to the fastener and tool manufacturers, and they've helped out with some of this research. So code compliance is very important to our members, and we had a program that some of our members were saying is kind of onerous. It was expensive. It was time-consuming having the inspectors come in. So just last week, we completed a ballot, a 30-day ballot of our voting members, and they approved changes to our code compliance certification program.
Oh, cool.
It's going to be just as stringent, but it's going to make it easier for them to comply. It's not going to take as long. It's not going to cost as much, and we're going to put in place over the next few months so that they're ready for this. Training to help them do what they need to do for compliance, ask for the right mill certificates, do their own testing if they have to, go to the labs and ask for the right testing, and let them know what ASTM requirements are out there for their materials. Let them know what the code is so that they can make sure and comply, and they can pass their inspections when we go in. The other thing is if they pass 2 consecutive inspections, the frequency is going to drop down to once per year instead of twice, or even if they fail a couple inspections, it'll be 4 times per year. But we're trying to make it easier on both the inspectors and less costly on our members.
All right, well, that's amazing. Now I know why you said you had something special you wanted to share.
Yes,
So that is
yes.
really exciting to hear
Yeah.
what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
But let's talk about membership for a moment.
Yeah.
Why should everybody listening, whether you're a contractor or manufacturer or an architect, like why should people be members of SFIA?
Well, that's a good question, because unlike some other associations that are just the manufacturers, we're the steel framing industry.
Yeah.
We go all the way from the steel mills all the way down to the contractors. And when I say down, it's not because they're at the bottom, they're the consumers of the product.
Sure, absolutely.
We've got distributors that are part of this. Distributors are members.
Big piece
so
of
that
the industry.
they can have access to our data. We get tonnage data on how much material we sell in the different regions across the country. We curate that data using some other market indicators to put some thoughts into what's been going into this, and data centers themselves have been a big consumer of steel
that's what
framing.
everyone's talking about right now is
Yes.
data
No, I
centers.
had an
Yeah,
opportunity
it's a
to
lot.
go to one in January and see what's actually going into these things, and this was a smaller
fascinating.
data center, and it was huge, not
Yeah.
just with the steel framing inside, but all of the other things. The conduit, there were miles of conduit in there. They're putting penetration in these walls, and these contractors are going to have to build all
Yeah.
around this stuff, and the guys that were there were doing a great job.
Yeah.
So we have a contractor certification program for those contractors. We've got truss and panel fabricator certification programs. We've got BuildSteel.org, where if somebody works on a project and they're a member, they can submit that project to us. Marco Johnson does a great job of taking that information, writing some nice articles, and give them that publicity on BuildSteel. We've been doing some short videos. We've got education program for members. We are showing people through videos and tech documents on how to do code compliance, how to measure, and this is good for architects and building inspectors.
Absolutely.
How do you measure the flange or the inside web depth of a track? It's not super intuitive, so we've got some guidance that we show the industry on that. And this is something that helps out members. This is why membership is important. And of course, we're telling architects and specifiers and structural engineers to insist on certified code compliant.
Yeah.
We're providing that certification, and as a member, people that manufacture this can show, hey, we've got certified code compliant steel.
Love
So
it.
that's the big advantage to manufacturers on the membership.
Well, that is amazing, all those things that you do for members. So
Thank you.
hopefully we will help you really spread the word of why people should join, because
Thanks.
we all know when you get involved, there's so many great things happen.
There are.
And so many great resources that you have.
The key is what you said, is get involved.
Yes.
Somebody told me the analogy is it's like you sign up for a gym membership in January.
right, you
If
gotta go.
You got to go. And it's the same.
Everyone goes in January. We
when
got to
you-
continue going,
Right.
right?
when you sign up for an association, you need to participate.
Yes.
We've got great committees. We've got great volunteers, and we need more volunteers, because we can't just rely on staff to do on this. It's our members, and we've got great members that have been helping out.
Well, we all know it's the relationships that
Yes,
those people
yes.
build when you just show up and you just get involved and just
Right.
try to figure it out. Well,
That's it.
Don, thank you so much for joining me today. If anybody has
Thank
any
you,
questions,
Jill.
where do they go if they want to be a member, or just tap into your resources?
So for membership, it's steelframing.org. That's steelframing.org. And to see some of these case studies and stories we've been talking about,
Yeah.
that's buildsteel.org.
Okay.
BUILDSTEEL.
And how about social media? Oh, sorry.
So social media, it's hashtag SFIA Steel.
Nice. Love
All
it.
right.
Well, Dan, thank you again so much. And if anybody has any questions for us, it is wconline.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for all our free content. Follow us on our social media channels as well, so you can stay up to date on all the great interviews we're doing, like we are today with Don. But most importantly, stay safe and healthy. We can't wait to talk to you soon. Don,
Thank you very much,
again
Jill.
so much.
It's been great. All right. Thank you. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.